By the end of the 4 years of my term in office as president, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa. That is where we want to get to. That is the commitment I'm making on your behalf and on all our behalves, that by the end of the 4 years of Akufo-Addo's presidency, Accra will be the cleanest city in the entire African continent.
That was then President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in 2017, boldly declaring his vision to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. To back that ambition, he created Ghana's first ever Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. Just months later, on November 13, 2017, the government launched the National Sanitation Campaign, a flagship effort to drive the president's agenda forward.
Ministers, chief executives, and chief directors of government departments and agencies will be held accountable for any lapses in the failure to comply with this directive. The heads of departments have 1 week within which to identify and assign these officers. The Environmental Health and Sanitation Directorate must take steps to train these appointed officers.
By 2020, the reality on the ground told a different story. Accra was still far from being the cleanest city, let alone in Africa. The promise needed more time.
Mr. Chairman, Accra is on course to become the cleanest city that the President gave in absolute terms. I think we are on course, looking at what we started doing and what I continue for my colleague.
On the floor of Parliament, then Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abinadapa revised the timeline, now pledging that Accra would become the cleanest city in Africa by 2024. Fast forward, and not only has that promise gone unmet, but Accra is arguably not even the cleanest city in Ghana. In the twilight of the MPP's administration in 2024, Ghana was hit by a major cholera outbreak. By December 23, 2024, the Ghana Health Service had recorded 4,155 suspected cases and 35 deaths. Less than a month later, on January 21, 2025, the outbreak had spread across 5 regions: Greater Accra, Central, Western, Eastern, and Ashanti, with 5,527 suspected cases and 43 deaths reported. Accra's sanitation crisis has worsened. At the Nima market, mounds of rubbish are scattered across the streets. A suffocating stench rises from the drains, clogged with waste, yet traders continue selling amidst the filth. Rotten vegetables, plastic waste, and discarded food attract swarms of flies. Cooked food is sold just inches away from garbage. The filth has spread on the floor like a carpet. Traders and customers just walk on it. The current government has pledged to reintroduce National Sanitation Day and revamp sanitation financing, but so far the impact is yet to be felt. The waste in Nima poses serious health hazards, disrupts businesses, and deepens the city's sanitation woes. Not a single refuse bin is visible.
So if the government could at least help provide dustbins, without it, we are messing every place around, and it seems like the country is not hygienic. Because if the dustbins are being provided, I think nobody or no reasonable person will just be passing by with the baller, and then the person will just put it on the floor. Even if the person puts it on the floor, a reasonable person too will come by and then pick it up, put it inside the bin.
They will say they will come and pack it and just go and leave it. Sometimes, so you see, the thing is not full. So the thing is not full, they can't take it because they are checking, like, if they're taking it, it's empty. They will not make any profit on it. That is why sometimes they leave it at one place up to 3 days.
Residents and traders lament the absence of waste bins, which forces them to dump refuse in the middle of the road, but it is not just the markets.
It's been close to a decade after the promise was made to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Standing here is surrounded by filth. One must ask, what happened to the promise?
I don't think this is coming from only some places and not this particular area. I believe when it rains, people intentionally drop refuse in the gutter. Because authorities can do more sanitation, outrage or public awareness and how we can all help to keep our environment clean.
They come with their trucks, these mini trucks with Aboboya also. They come to dispose of the boiler. They come asking people to bring out their boiler and then they'll send it back. They don't do it. Those close to the gutter, they put it into the gutter.
Indiscriminate dumping continues unchecked, largely because culprits are not identified or held accountable. Despite years of promises, policy documents and budget allocations, Ghana's sanitation landscape shows little improvement. The Odo River, like many of Accra's major drains, is still buried in garbage. Choked gutters increase the risk of flooding with every rainfall. The blueprint for a cleaner city exists. The people know what must be done. The government says the right things, but the gap between talk and action remains painfully wide.
Reporting for GHOne News, Abilla Isaac, Azumah, Accra.